Well, it is World Stroke Day, and we are taking this time to share the stories of survival. We've got Corey Davidson, who is in the studio with us, along with Dr. Carrie Jepson. And Carrie, I wanted to just start with you about the signs of stroke and the long-term impacts from it.
Yeah, sure. So the long-term impacts of stroke. Stroke is the leading cause of adult disability here in the United States. And we really try to get people to recognize the signs because there are treatments for stroke, but they're time sensitive. And so we really have to recognize the signs and get to the hospital as soon as possible. So what the acronym we say is be fast.
Okay.
To remember the signs. So B stands for balance, any sudden changes in the way you walk, or dizziness. E stands for eyes. So black spots in your vision or double vision. F stands for face, so if you smile, one side looks droopy. A stands for arm, sudden numbness or weakness, especially on one side of the body. S is for speech, so slurred speech or difficulty getting your words out. And then the T stands for time. Remember those signs and call 911, get to a hospital as soon as possible.
Corey, you were with your daughter. You were taken to the hospital, nearly pronounced dead. Can you talk about the next 5 weeks and what all you had to regain and relearn after that?
Sure, it was a busy day for sure. They took us in and got us to Rock Creek, gave us a shot, got us to the stroke ward as soon as possible, and started to unfold from there. Don't really remember the next 3 days. Apparently they were pretty busy, but yeah, my daughter was with, and I was with a friend, and they stayed there until my parents had come, and they drove, and as I flew, and yeah.
And you had to work on speech, walking again?
Yes.
Yeah? What was that like about having to relearn all of that?
Well, when you wake up and there's a tube in the throat and you can't move one side of your body, you're just like, oh man. And it comes pretty quick. For me, I moved my toes. Once I moved my toes, I could start to move my leg. And then I thought, oh man, it's come along, I can do this. And yeah, from then on, my hands started to move, and I started to walk with a cane and with a wheelchair, and it was all good things from there on.
Wow. Can you talk a little bit about, when you do get help right away, the recovery, and also how common is this? Like, what are the misconceptions about who's having a stroke versus not?
Yeah. So about every 40 seconds, somebody is having a stroke. So every year there's about 800,000 people that are having strokes, and anybody can have a stroke. We've seen young people have strokes, anybody. I mean, Corey here is only 49 years old, and so anybody can have strokes, and the recovery is different for everybody, kind of depending on where the stroke is, and just kind of how you are going to recover from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there any risks, ahead of time that would make somebody want to watch for a stroke more than others?
Well, there are many risk factors that can lead to stroke, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So talking with your primary care physician is really important to know your risk of stroke. And if you have those risk factors, really controlling them. And of course, diet and exercise are really important to prevent heart disease and stroke as well.
We're about just out of time, but Corey, I wanted to end with you about why it was important for you to be open and sharing this story.
For me, it was about the recovery and my daughter. She's 6 years old today, and I love her, and I want everyone to know that it's possible to get better from it and do more with their life, and it goes on. Wow. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in and spending a part of your Saturday morning with us. I know your story is resonating with so many people, and hopefully they've taken notes and remember the signs and symptoms of a stroke. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
He's given us all something to think about.